Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do all of you agree?
Yes.
Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Is not guilty or guilty of that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct?
Yes.
So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Guilty.
So say you all?
Yes.
003, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records it. You upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back to service is complete. I'd like to come back and talk to you a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All right.
Very powerful moment there. Do you hear the people erupting? As you know, the delay, it just goes to show you like the delay from live TV or whatever, man. But they were going nuts outside.
What would you say to those who feel like John O'Keefe still hasn't received justice?
Well, all of these people here think John O'Keefe hasn't received justice because the people who murdered John O'Keefe are out there. They're the McCabe's and the Alberts, and John O'Keefe went into their home and never came out of it alive, and they threw him on the lawn like trash. So I would hope that all of us can unite at this point, now that Karen Reed has been exonerated, that all of us can unite and demand that the Alberts and the McCabe's and Brian Higgins be held accountable for what they did to John O'Keefe.
So will that happen? Will there be a uniting of everyone coming together and seeing how deep this all really goes, really getting to the bottom of things? I mean, listen, with the justice system, some people have no faith at all. Some people have limited faith. Some people just are lost and flabbergasted, especially in a situation like this. We have a police officer losing his life. This woman's been put on trial multiple times, the hung jury. A lot of individuals were like, hey, even people that were on the fence about if she could have been guilty felt like that the evidence just wasn't there. Why would they take her back to trial? And we see all this time later, here we are, second trial in the books, and she gets probation. That's what it is, a year probation with DUI, DWI, whatever, driving over .08, liquor, etc. However you want to reference it, a year probation. That's the end result of all this. And I mean, I really want to know now with this verdict, I mean, are they going to really try to dig in here? Or will this just be it? Is this it? Is it as is? Comment, everyone, your thoughts. I mean, this is just such a crazy case, but when it comes to the legal system, whatever faith you do or do not have in it, one thing is for certain, and I believe everyone can agree on this point that I'm about to make here, and what I'm about to say is a big part of why law enforcement, the corruption that does happen, the police that do abuse their power, the police that do shady things, is because it is so hard to prosecute law enforcement, police, or whatever, when it comes to the messed up things that they do. We've seen it happen time and time again. They're often forced into retirement, or there's just so many channels and back channels and things like that prevents police from ever seeing a jail cell. I mean, it happens, you know what I mean? But even R.I.P. George Floyd, right? Like, there was people that were worrying Chauvin wouldn't be convicted, and you know what I mean? Obviously the right thing happened and he's rotting away in jail. But I'm just saying, when it comes to police breaking the law, it is a bajillion times harder to prosecute them than the average person. So often it doesn't even see formal charges, let alone a courtroom or whatever, you know. So what will happen, we'll have to wait and see. You see this statement here, you heard all the individuals that guy named when he gave his statement. But you see here, in a statement from Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, Chris Elbert, Julie Elbert, Colin Elbert, Nicole Elbert, Brian Elbert, Kerry Roberts, and Kurt Roberts, they called the verdict a miscarriage of justice. And here's the statement. Today, our hearts are with John and the entire O'Keefe family. They have suffered through so much and deserve better from our justice system. While we may have more to say in the future, today we mourn with John's family and lament the cruel reality that this prosecution was infected by lies and conspiracy theories spread by Karen Read, her defense team, and some in the media. The result is a devastating miscarriage of justice. So, you know, jump in the comments. What do you think about that statement there? And what do you think about the state of this death of John O'Keefe and getting to the bottom of it? You know what I mean? They're trying to say, oh, she did it. And, you know, they poisoned the system with these lies and theories and all that. But at the end of the day, whatever you believe, again, the evidence just clearly wasn't there. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you with this case. I never knew quite exactly what to think. But whether or not you think that this is the right verdict, or you believe that she, you know, was involved in some way in his death, right? There's definitely 100% more than meets the eye, more than what was said to have happened. You know what I mean? This is just the tip of the iceberg with this case. And I don't know. I wonder what will come in the future, but it is what it is, man. Karen Read on probation. What will happen with Turtle Boy? I'm intrigued to see that as well, if they're gonna try to just lay the smack down on him in court. I haven't been following that case that much at this point. There's just so many unanswered questions. And the judge, what was up with the judge? Everyone kept saying, man, you know, listen, a judge, it's like a referee at a sports game. You know what I mean? You got to call it down the middle. And obviously, we know judges are human beings. They're going to have feelings or bias or whatever the case may be. But if they're professional, they're going to do their damn job. And this judge just seemed like she was an extension of the prosecution, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, even with that, they still said she is not guilty. All they got her on is the DUI, again, however you want to reference it. So what happens from here? What will the future bring? So many thoughts, so much going on right now, so much running through everyone's mind. And I want to hear all your thoughts about it. You know what I mean? This is crazy, this case. 2 trials and a year probation, and you know, a lot of unanswered questions in the death of Mr. O'Keefe. And then that's a statement coming from all those individuals. You know, they're just saying, hey, they poisoned this case with their conspiracy theories and lies and such. And listen, that just goes again to whatever you do believe. Again, if someone does believe it was Karen Read was the one responsible for his death, which, as I stated, whether you believe that or not, there's just more going on here. It's clear this case is absolutely crazy. It's bonkers, you know. And reasonable doubt is huge here. But you know, even with all that being said, prosecutors just spouting off a few theories, or Karen Read or her supporters doing it, that shouldn't be enough to taint a whole case. It just doesn't work like that. That's just not what it is. That just doesn't make sense. And again, there's just so many unanswered questions here, and that's just a fact in my opinion. But let's discuss it all in the comments. Subscribe to the channel for updates and other true crime and crime news. Crime Time Podcast. Up out of here. Peace.